When you think of a pub, most think of a spot to gather for drinks and food, a place to have a good time. But at the 900-year-old Skirrid Inn in Wales, for about 180 people, this was a place to be put on trial and possibly executed. Some of the crimes committed were as minor as stealing sheep, but there were women tried as witches and executed in this very building. Could the Skirrid Inn be cursed by those who were wrongfully punished? And could that be why this building is not just the oldest pub in Wales, but also the most haunted? Lately, the paranormal activity has increased dramatically. I'm sending my film crew to find out why. Across every ocean.
It is not too secure, too safe to get there.
Lurking deep within the darkness, evil forces are preying upon the living.
Exorcisms are on the rise in Mexico.
I am sending a camera crew across the globe to document these events. I am Bagans, and this is Destinations of the Damned. In the wee hours of the morning, my film crew takes the 2.5-hour drive from London to a small village in the south of Wales that is the home of the Skirrid Inn. As we arrive in this small village, we meet the inn's previous owner at the local church. He walks us through the lore of the Skirrid Inn.
Throughout my stay at the Skirrid Inn, I say I was lucky enough to own it for nearly 20 years. Over my shoulder is the Skirrid Mountain, known locally as the Holy Mountain. It's been revered for centuries by the local people. They would often take their herds of cattle and sheep up there. And it was worshipped, really, as a pagan site. The massive fissure that's in the side of it is thought to have been made by a lightning bolt at the minute Christ was crucified. Throughout Welsh history, there's often a confrontation between devil and God, good and evil, and for some reason, this area where we're situated on the Brecon Beacons is well known for those confrontations.
It is said the devil got a foothold inside the inn when man played God here, condemning and savagely killing villagers, both guilty and innocent.
The first reference to Skirrid Inn is 1110, when two brothers, Crowther brothers, were tried. Both were found guilty. They were hung from a beam at the Skirrid Inn. That gives us our first mention of the Skirrid Mountain Inn acting as a courtroom.
In fact, people know exactly where in the inn these hangings were conducted. The stairwell still shows the worn beam that the noose was hung from.
It's reported that there was 181 people lost their lives due to hanging at the Skirrid.
It's no surprise this place is believed to be the home of the devil. It is absolutely mind-blowing to visualize 181 people hanging from the staircase. To this day, innkeepers leave this pint of ale at the door each night as an offering to the devil. British paranormal investigator Barry Guy investigated the inn a few years ago and knows its history well.
The Skirrid Inn is also famous for the hanging Judge Jeffreys, which was a notorious man who used to preside over court at the Skirrid. He would often sentence people to death and hang them, often from the stairway of the building.
A town this small wouldn't have had its own courtroom and judge, so judges would travel from town to town and hear cases in public houses before passing their judgment. Judge Jeffreys led one of the darkest chapters in the history of the inn, during which many women were wrongfully convicted of witchcraft. Many of these innocent victims took their last breaths in this very building.
It was basically witch trials. We've always had this terrible conflict with religion, and it's thought that he cut his teeth at the Skirrid, dishing out some of the harshest penalties.
With all of the executions that took place at the inn, it is no surprise horrifying accounts of the paranormal have emerged.
I visited the Skirrid Inn a few years ago. I carried out a paranormal investigation of the property. I encountered multiple spirits. I felt feelings of dread, nausea, and anxiety, and they came on all of a sudden in certain parts of the building. specifically in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which I believe used to be a courthouse. In that particular area, I felt threatened. I felt like there was something in there that didn't want us there, something that wanted me to get out.
Has the spirit of hanging Judge Jeffries, a man who dared play God here, taken over the upstairs bedroom that once served as his courtroom? Or are the spirits of the executed looking for revenge on the living? One of the most frequently seen ghosts is that of a woman. And this isn't just a sighting that occurs here, because she is known to follow anyone who makes contact with her.
So you've seen a lot?
Back in 2019, gone down the kitchen to see the staff. And as I came back up the passageway, a lady comes shuffling down the corridor towards the toilet. And I said, "Are you looking for the ladies?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Just on your right." So I went back up to the bar, and I said to the two girls, "Where did that lady come from?" They said, "What lady?" It was horrible. It was a really strange feeling.
This female spirit has also been known to attack.
So we did have one particularly nasty incident where a lady was staying in room 1, one of the letting rooms. She was in the bath and she was held down. And it was interesting because she came to me. She had her hair was still soaking, she was wet, but she had an overcoat on. And she said to me, "She's tried to kill me. She's tried to kill me." And when I said, "Who?" she hadn't seen anybody. She knew in her mind that it was a woman that held her down under the bath, and they left.
Many believe this malevolent female entity that attacks then attaches itself to the living may have been one of the alleged witches hanged here seeking revenge. Many of their bodies were said to have been buried in a mass grave on the property. According to local church laws, when you are executed for a capital crime, especially witchcraft, you cannot be buried in consecrated soil.
Several occasions we had people claiming there was a mass grave outside, and I was going to do some geophys and have a look at it, but I got a little bit of resistance from the local church where we stood now. They weren't particularly happy with me. They wanted people that were laid to rest to remain at rest.
As the sun dips beneath the horizon, my crew heads back to their hotel for the night. But they believe something has followed them back. After a long day of filming at the Skirrid Inn, my crew is in the lobby of their hotel when they are greeted by MJ, a British witch who, along with her partner Carl, will be conducting an investigation at the Skirrid Inn. She tells them she saw a woman approach them in the lobby and then completely vanish into thin air.
I literally just saw a woman walk this direction right up to you. She just disappeared.
But from where?
Like literally coming out of that doorway, but the door didn't open.
The past 4 times that I've come to the Skirrid Inn, a few days beforehand, we've had really strange activity in my house. And it seems to be this recurring pattern of every single time we come to the Skirrid Inn, something physically attacks my husband. Not me, but him. And I feel like that's my weak point.
MJ immediately begins an EVP session.
Tell me what we need to watch out for. All right.
Tell me what we need to watch out for.
Whoa.
Tell me what we need to watch out for.
That's like a full sentence, man. Yeah. That is a full sentence. Is that a help me? Like really distorted. What, a light just came on?
Yeah, something just like flickered or came on.
Just behind MJ, you can see a light unexplainably turn off.
Distorted.
It's so weird.
My heart's actually racing.
Then, this door that's been open the entire time suddenly shuts by itself.
Wait. Stop.
No way.
Stop.
No way. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I know. A door definitely just closed. One of these doors that was open before.
This is the hotel we're sleeping at.
Is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch out. Kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kill you. So without any prompting, you heard the same thing we heard, which is kill you.
Kill you
Yeah.
again. You can definitely hear the watch out, because you can hear the reverb in the way it says watch.
Why is somebody trying to warn us before we do the investigation?
Just go and goose it.
Carl, who was sitting on the couch near my crew when MJ saw the female apparition, starts feeling a presence.
Carl, are you okay? Your ear is really red.
Boiling hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All
That is
the way down this side.
really turning red, Carl. Are you okay?
And blurred vision.
You're getting blurred vision?
As Carl starts having blurred vision, his ear is deep red, but oddly, only the upper half.
I mean, not for nothing, but like,
We
We were there for an hour to see the place that I did.
We didn't incite anything. We didn't antagonize. This is a crazy amount of activity before we even started. Call tonight. See what happens tomorrow.
that's tomorrow, exactly.
I was sitting there and it felt like a wave just coming in, up and down of heat.
Carl, you okay? You gonna be all right?
I started to feel sick. I wanted to just get as far away from you guys as physically possible.
Did my crew's short time at the Skirrid result in this female attachment now affecting Carl?
Yeah? I'll get some water.
At that moment, I had this almighty rage come over me.
Getting angry.
I'm very, very placid. I don't get wound up, I don't get angry, and I was fighting it back to try and lash out at you guys.
Yeah.
MJ, have you ever seen Carl get like this?
I'll be back.
There is definitely something here that tends to follow people and cause that extreme anger.
My crew is very disturbed by what they are witnessing. And as Carl's behavior intensifies, they are confident that what they are witnessing is an attachment from the Skirrid Inn. The following day, my team heads to the Skirrid Inn. They're hesitant to enter with MJ because they believe Carl's attachment may have been triggered by the fact that she practices witchcraft. As they arrive, there is no one else at the inn except for Mark and Sue Brown, a couple who have investigated the Skirrid Inn multiple times.
The more you come, the more I think it gets to know you, and whether it trusts you or whether it likes or dislikes you, it will let you know. It will let you know whether it rates you as someone that it communicate with, or I'm not going to bother with you. The history's in the walls here. We've been investigating in this in what was called the snug bar and the main bar. As I turned, the gentleman was standing in that doorway. Full-bodied apparition, a solid full-bodied apparition. No emotion on his face at all. He blocked the light out. I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he went, literally. And I just kept quiet because you don't mess with this guy. This is a person in this place, this establishment, you do not mess with, or he will mess with you. That's the impression I get from him.
Who or what could this apparition be? A dark soul or the devil himself? During their investigations, Sue will often do spirit writing. Tonight, she has offered to do a session in one of Judge Jeffrey's former courtrooms. She will attempt to gather information regarding who or what could have followed my crew back to their hotel last night and affected Carl. Spirit writing is the act of channeling messages from the spirit world to humanity. It originated centuries ago in China, where messages from the gods were recorded by humans. It is also similar to Christian beliefs that the Holy Spirit dictated the word of God through its most devoted followers. Spirit writing is a powerful and yet very dangerous tool for communicating with the beyond. Two locals, Emma and Debbie, have previously spent the night in the Skirrid Inn. They have arrived unannounced and want to show my crew what they believe to be a mysterious dark figure they captured in a photo.
We were just taking random photos in the doorway.
All of us were here that night and we were all in that bedroom, so nobody was out on the landing at all. So it did scare us a bit. And me and my mother-in-law were sleeping in bedroom 3. My mother-in-law put all her jewellery by the side of the bed, and when we got up in the morning, it had all been rearranged and moved. Someone had moved all her jewellery.
Sue has finished her spirit writing session. She reveals a stark warning to my crew.
It's going to be a very difficult night if you are not careful. The man is here. He controls everything. What is this witchcraft? The Lord will make you pay. Watch and wait and beware. Your time is limited. Go now before it is too late.
We've had negativity before, but we've not had it as, you know, sort of being oppressive and nasty.
Yes, it's never been quite abrupt as well, you know. What is this witchcraft?
Mark and Sue aren't aware that MJ is planning to perform a witch's ritual here tonight, but it appears that a dangerous male entity at the inn already knows. MJ and Carl, unaware of Sue's warning, are proceeding with a ritual at the inn to provoke the hanging judge and to find out what female spirit may have followed my crew back to their hotel.
There were a lot of women that lost their lives, and that's partially what's prompted me to do a Wiccan ritual of sorts. I have my feather and bell. This is to represent east. The candle is to represent fire in the south. In the chalice, we have Florida water. This is to represent west. And over here, I have salt, which is to represent the earth and the north.
Carl, still feeling affected from last night, has a concerned look on his face as MJ conducts her ritual, which she begins by calling on the elements and spirits of the north, south, east, and west.
By the power of air and invention, heed my call. Join me. I call on the goddess to aid me, to open up a gateway of communication between this world and the next.
Hang on a second.
Carl thinks he hears movement upstairs.
To those near and to those far, if you can hear me, I call you forward. I open up a gateway. I ask that you speak with us this evening. Spiritus, hoc tempos loquendi, audite vocem meam. Spiritus, nunc loquimini, come forward. If you can hear my voice, we would like to speak with you this evening. Forward.
The crew feels their best chance of communication is in the room that was used as the courtroom.
Oh man, that is dark. Watch the steps, yeah?
As MJ and Carl make their way upstairs, they see a figure standing before them.
Are you kidding?
That was somebody in the doorway.
Hello? God, is there anyone? Are you kidding? Oh my God.
That was a figure.
That was a full figure.
That was a figure here.
Literally, that was so clear. Oh my God, that was really scary. That just scared the out of me. I genuinely thought it was one of the crew.
It was something like that.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
leaning against the door.
What they don't realize is this appears to be the same doorway where the two local women photographed a dark figure that they showed my crew earlier.
All of us were here that night and we were all in that bedroom, so nobody was out on the landing at all. So it did scare us a bit.
With the intense shift in energy, the crew has decided to call it for the safety of Carl and not intensifying another attack. But as they are packing up, our cinematographer, Justin, snaps a photo with his phone upstairs where we just were. He thinks he's captured the apparition of a figure sitting on a small couch.
I just took that photo on the couch where we were.
There's two legs.
Yeah, two arms.
That's the same spot I was just saying.
That's where you were.
Hey, we had a development here, so what happened?
You guys were sitting in that room. I just took that photo. There's a person sitting in that couch.
There is somebody sat in that couch.
Was in the spot I was in.
Yes.
Yeah. You see the legs?
Yes. That is weird.
And we literally just took, we were putting gear up there and I just snapped a photo.
Next, I send my crew to Central America, to an abandoned hotel in the jungles of Costa Rica that is haunted by an entity so dangerous, locals claim it's killing people. There's an abandoned hotel in Costa Rica that is so terrifying. Nobody will go inside. And we hear there's an entity so powerful that locals claim it is killing people and causing heart attacks, and that it could be linked to a mysterious cult. And even former employees think that whatever this group conjured has summoned a deadly entity, and I need to know what this dangerous entity is. So I'm sending my crew there to investigate and to see if a missing child has anything to do with it. San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica and dates back to the 1700s. It's a modern, bustling city with a tropical climate that greets my team with rain. But the city's lush tropical setting covers up a dark history in the secluded hills nearby, where the massive 4-star La Condesa was opened in 1999. A short 15 years later, the building was suddenly abandoned. To this day, no one is willing to get involved with this massive structure. Former staff believe the property will never be used again because a malicious entity was unleashed here by the dangerous cult. My crew meets someone familiar with this case who will take them inside. They connect with a local paranormal team who claims to have been the first to investigate La Condesa.
Monica? Israel?
This team believes the entity terrorizing the hotel attempted to take the life of a security guard that night. Each of the investigators has direct ties to La Condesa, as family members and friends worked there until its closing in 2014.
How do you guys feel right now going to this place?
It's so dark. It's not like the rest of the mountain. Quiere decir que en el pasado fueron locaciones de indígenas. The hotel is situated in a hot spot, spiritually speaking.
This land was once inhabited by the Huetares people, a peaceful indigenous group who, ironically, practiced barbaric human sacrifice. In the early 1500s, Spanish explorer Gonzalo Fernández de Oviedo wrote of these practices. They would split open the side of a man or woman and remove their heart. The first blood would be sacrificed to the sun. The victim would then be decapitated and their body eaten by the holy men. Is it possible these brutal sacrifices opened up a dangerous interdimensional doorway on this land? And could this be the reason a religious cult came to La Condesa for a mysterious event?
Ellos reservaron el salón para su actividad. Lo que pasa es que, pues obviamente el hotel no sabía lo que iba a suceder en este lugar.
A former bartender also remembers this group's secretive behavior.
Como confuso porque nosotros no teníamos acceso a ese lugar.
They were not speaking out or telling anything about what was happening there, the reason or whatever they were doing there.
The group confiscated all the keys and covered the windows with black film, so no one could see inside. Loud, heavy metal music blared through the walls, as if they didn't want anyone to hear what they were doing. Rumors of bizarre rituals happening behind closed doors quickly spread. They claimed the group was from the US and went by the name Miracle of Love. It was founded by a married couple in the 1980s who believed a godlike being had entered the husband's body. The group would travel around the world, teaching their beliefs. But there were stories from inside the group of abuse, drug use, and lavish spending by its leaders who demanded total obedience. The wife, who went by the spiritual name Kalindi, passed away in 2010, and the group has since changed its name. Israel and former employees claim that around the time the mysterious religious group was at the La Condesa, they believe a child went missing.
Niño que nadie nunca vio salir tampoco.
What he remembers is the rumor of the child being missing.
We don't know if the cult had anything to do with the child's disappearance, but Israel speculates that it was connected.
A un menor de edad, y lo que hicieron fue, pues, parte de su culto, supuestamente hacer un sacrificio.
And a large amount of blood was reportedly found in the basement drain trap.
Vino y habló con el chef y preguntó si había habido, como aquí se traía mucha carne, alguna limpieza de carne, pero no en...
Is this evidence that the little boy was sacrificed? And if so, did this horrific event summon the dark entity that is believed to now roam these halls? When asked about the police investigation regarding the boy, we receive an alarming response.
Was there an investigation by law enforcement?
Entonces, suponemos que esta información se manejó, pues, aquí en estas paredes.
The hotel didn't want to involve the police.
Were the police too scared to enter the hotel for fear of dealing with the occult?
This country, people is very religious. When people start speaking about spirits like paranormal activity, they say you're crazy. It's like something that you don't talk about.
Is this paranormal team braving this taboo subject, putting their lives in danger? It's obvious heading to this location is making Israel very uneasy. He had to be convinced to return to the abandoned hotel. And for good reason. The last time Israel was inside the Condesa, the security guard with him had a heart attack.
The last time that Israel come here, the security guard have a very bad experience. They went to hospital with him.
During that same investigation, Israel heard a woman scream inside the hotel and captured a recording of it.
Escucha a una mujer gritando de manera muy escalofriante.
Do you have it on your phone?
¿Usted lo tiene?
Sí.
Para mostrarlo.
On the recording, you can hear Israel and another investigator talking, and then what they say was a long female scream in the distance.
Do you have a thought on who that might be?
No.
To me, the recording sounds more like a cry. And I have to wonder if it's a coincidence that it happened the same night the security guard had a heart attack. I suspect now that the cult may have summoned an ancient evil by sacrificing a child, inadvertently summoning one of the most dangerous entities in all of Latin America. I think it could be La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. The legend of La Llorona dates back to ancient times. It claims a native woman drowned her own children and then killed herself in shame for what she'd done. Unable to enter the next life, she is cursed to roam Earth for eternity, searching for her dead children. And Costa Rica has their own version of this legend called La Tulevieja, where the woman's cursed spirit wanders the shores of rivers and lakes looking for children to kidnap. Could the cult, who were possibly summoning the ancient evil invited by the cannibalistic tribe by sacrificing a child, have unintentionally called upon this deadly female entity? Recently, there has been a rash of alleged La Llorona sightings in this region. And on all of these videos, you can hear children crying in the background, much like the cry heard in Israel's audio capture. So I have to wonder, could the child sacrifice have given La Llorona her child back, summoning her to the Condesa? As my crew approaches the front gate of the hotel, they learn a former staff member is waiting outside. He wants to speak with us, but is unwilling to enter the property in fear for his life.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. I was working here about 11 years. I was night shift when I was new the hotel. It's not open yet.
He first tells my producers about another person who suffered a heart attack in the hotel. A bride who was another probable victim of this killer entity.
He works many weddings on the weekends. One day, the bride goes to the room and she have a heart attack and died. She's around the hotel. Sometimes you go to a hall in the hotel and she passes close to you.
La Llorona wears a white dress, often depicted as a wedding dress. It's as if she waited for this bride to get alone in her room and attacked, as if the dress was mocking her. Marco tells us about the elevator repairman who met a suspicious death.
Somebody working at the elevator. He was at the 4th floor and he moved and fell out and died.
Did he fall? Or did this entity claim another victim?
Do you think there's a dark energy in there?
Of course, definitely yes.
We asked Marco if he would be willing to venture back inside the hotel.
Okay, I don't want to go inside because I don't feel well inside. And I have a lot of memories in there. And it was difficult for me.
After talking to Marco nearby, a security guard stops my crew at the front gate.
We have security here?
Sí.
We're told even the security guards outside are afraid to enter the hotel because they too fear the fatal wrath of this malicious entity. So the guard sends my crew up to the hotel, alone.
People, welcome to the Condesa.
The moment has arrived, and before Israel's crew and my camera crew enter, everyone cleanses themselves, says prayers, and fully understands the potentially fatal risks of stepping foot inside.
Wow.
Could this be a home for La Llorona?
Israel and I talk about the hotel. I had a presence during the night in my home. A shadow person take my neck. It's like a woman, all in dark. I couldn't wake up to my husband.
Monica claims she was followed home by an entity that resembles La Llorona. She explains her dog was frightened by the spirit's presence.
It's almost like the dog sensed it.
Yes, my dog see that presence. I think that she's waiting for us because you go to my house. Now I come for you.
There is evidence that the paranormal team has encountered the La Llorona spirit without realizing it after she was drawn to this location after a suspected sacrifice of a child.
This place is so scary. So scary.
There have been multiple past sightings of a threatening female entity here, who even followed one person home and attacked her, as well as sightings of the spirits of young children. And as Israel's team is just beginning to lead us from the lobby into the hotel's maze of corridors, they are interrupted by a loud bang from deep inside the empty building.
What was that?
No sé.
The sound came from the hotel's basement, which can be accessed through the atrium. So they immediately head in that direction in pursuit.
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know what is going to happen here. It's so strange.
Vamos.
Since they've been here, they have been seeing a woman over there.
In this place, I see a woman. I feel sad. Over there.
Is it possible Vanessa is feeling the torment of La Llorona, searching for her children? If so, this may be the first sign of her presence.
I feel sad. Maybe she was sad.
Vanessa believes the entity is on the move.
Okay, go.
She guides the team deep into the bowels of the hotel in pursuit of the female spirit. As Vanessa passes a group of lockers, the EMF detector begins picking up heavy spikes.
Hello.
¿Quieres comunicarte con nosotros? Pudimos escucharte.
Energy is overflowing from the basement of this hotel. And as my production crew is following and observing the paranormal team, something extraordinary occurs, as witnessed and heard by everyone. Israel's wireless microphone captures a very distinct and clear disembodied laugh.
Sí. ¿Puedes hablar más fuerte?
They hear disembodied laughter coming from the hallway behind them. Witnessing and capturing this incredible phantom laugh has everyone dead silent and uncertain of their next move. It's a state of shock combined with disbelief. The dark entity seems to be playing a sinister game of cat and mouse. The team makes their way to the hotel's indoor pool. Remember, La Llorona drowned her own children in a jealous rage. She is often seen near bodies of water, searching for children to abduct. Vanessa attempts to make contact with the missing little boy.
¿Alguien te hizo daño? Da. ¿Alguien dañó a ese niño? Veo que hay varias personas acá.
Just then, a strange, strong gust of wind hits the building.
Sí, pero es una ráfaga de viento normal.
Sí, pero esa ráfaga es anormal.
Esas son las ráfagas de viento que se vienen en mi casa cada vez que hablamos de la Condesa.
¿Serio?
At this moment, this night vision camera captures what appears to be some type of light anomaly that at first we believe might be an insect. However, as we go frame by frame, it manifests and becomes a larger circular orb. Then you can see it as it passes in front of Israel's ear, that it's translucent. And in the next frame, the anomaly appears to go inside of his head and disappears. If this were a bug, we would clearly see it reappear on the other side of his head, in the other lighted areas of the night vision camera. As the investigators return to the lobby, they mention one more clue that I think indicates the possible presence of La Llorona.
La piscina es un lugar donde hubo agua y el agua es un canalizador.
It's because water is a channel for the paranormal activity.
It's no surprise that many sightings of La Llorona in Latin America have involved swimming pools. Take note, as the figure moves up these steps, its legs elongate in a most inhuman way.
Con gusto.
Although we can't be certain what it is, there remains a very strong presence in this massive building, left here to rot